Jacob, you are looking at the two most in-demand cars in Australia right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's not a Ford Ranger, it's not a Toyota Hilux, it's actually a Toyota RAV4. These things delivered the most last year. These still have like a 12-month waiting list, and Kia have just brought in their new Sportage Hybrid.
It's bloody fantastic looking.
It's good news because a lot of people don't want to wait for this anymore. So should you go and buy one of these instead? Well, a lot of people are saying, yeah, maybe you should, but no one's actually compared them. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna take the top spec Toyota RAV4 Edge Hybrid.
Bit edgy.
And we're going to compare that to the top of the range Kia Sportage GT line Hybrid.
Whoa, it just got angry. It's like I accept the challenge.
Today we're going to take you for a comprehensive review of both of these cars, stack them up against each other. We're going to check out the exterior, look into the interiors. We're going to check out the value as well because it's not as easy as you might think. We're going to check out the practicality and of course performance test both of these because they're both hybrids, but they both achieve the hybrid powertrain in a bit of a different way.
Very different.
Very different. We're going to give them lots of the sauce around the twisties, see which is better because they both have pros and cons, and finally we're going to end on which one should you buy. We'll give you a definitive answer.
We will.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So Toyota have just announced that they're axing every other engine available for the RAV4 except for the hybrid. So now it starts at $42,260 for the front wheel drive hybrid. That is for the base model GX. You could spend another $3,000 and add an electric motor to the rear axle, make this thing an all-wheel drive hybrid, and that will set you back $45,260 for the base model GX. This is of course the top of the range. This is the Edge, and it will cost you $58,360 before on-road costs, but you are getting the best, apparently, RAV4. And Jacob, because I was never really good at maths, what does this start with?
Well, the Kia Sportage Hybrid SX starts at $45,950. This one here, the GT line, is $55,420.
$55,420. So it's a bit cheaper at the top, but it's quite a lot more expensive at the bottom. Of course, what actually matters is what you pay. So if you want to get the best price with cars that are actually in stock for both of these cars, head to carsauce.com/buy. We have thousands of dealers who we literally pit together and make them fight. We charge them a fixed fee, not you, so it's a free service for you. It is 100% worth it. Join our many other happy customers at carsauce.com/buy. You will not regret it. Jacob, let's talk about the way they look.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob.
Ooh, the RAV4.
Let's talk about the way it looks. Sick.
Honestly, man, this Edge looks really cool.
Yeah, it's got like an aggressive body kit on it, the Edge, but even across the whole range, I think they all look really nice. I love this huge, I don't even know what you'd call it.
It's like a bulbous body kit.
It's like if you got a big forehead, I guess, and it's a cool big forehead. You got these cool LED daytime running lights here, LED turning signals, which is good, and pretty bright LED lights are okay. You've also got, the Toyota badge with blue in it. What does that mean?
Electricity, baby.
It means electricity. I'm Emperor Palpatine. That's a Star Wars reference. No one's going to get that.
Nerd.
You know what, Jacob?
I think everyone will get that.
Yeah, you know what?
Everyone's seen Star
Not only will
Wars.
they get that, I think people appreciate when a nerd reviews a car because you know that I'm going to nerd out about a lot of things. Check out this huge grille here. You've also got a camera up here. It's got a 360 camera and it's certainly not the best, but it does the job. Down the bottom, you have a silver bumper and I love this like bluish, grayish, greenish paint.
It's very nice, kind of aqua. I love it.
Oh, aqua. I wouldn't trust
Aqua.
your color sense because you are colorblind, my friend.
Thanks for exposing me, bro.
Check out the Kia Sportage.
Yeah, I mean, look, can I just be honest? I really liked the design of this car when it first came out. I don't know if it's aging that well.
Oh, that's a controversial opinion. Why?
I just don't think it looks that je ne sais quoi.
Ah, that's a big word, man. A lot of people won't get that. I will say the back end doesn't look that great to me anymore, but we'll come back to that. Check out these huge daytime running lights. I do like that. You've got LED lights here and actually far brighter LED lights here at the front as well. If you put them side by side, it's just more blinding. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I felt that.
Huge grille here. This thing has some smart tech like active aero, and that essentially closes off the front of this car to make it more aerodynamic. The RAV4 has dumb aero, so no, it doesn't get that. You've also got Kia badge here. That's kind of cool. Tiger nose grille and weirdly aggressive bumper at the front as well. I like this green paint too, man. In fact, if I was getting either of these cars, these would both be the color choices.
Yeah, it's very distinctive for sure.
And I actually lived with one of these for 3 months, the diesel. I did a long-term review of that. So if you want to learn what's good, bad, and ugly, make sure you check that out in the link below. Jacob? Jacob, let's check out the side.
Let's do it.
All right, so coming to the side now of the Kia Sportage. This is the GT line, which means it's top of the range. But if you get for the hybrid, they actually reduce the size of the wheels because otherwise it apparently creates too much drag and reduces efficiency. So these are 18-inch wheels. They're wrapped in pretty terrible tires, man.
Which is not great for the launch.
No, Hankook Dynapros, these things love to spin their wheels, especially because you can only get this as a front wheel drive. Like I said, that RAV4 hybrid, that is all wheel drive, at least for the Edge. And with the RAV4, you get 19-inch wheels, which are bigger wheels. They also look quite a lot nicer in my opinion, and they're wrapped in much better tire, Bridgestone Alenza tires. So not only do they have better grip because they're better tires, it's all-wheel drive, so it has better grip there too. That's something you're gonna wanna keep in mind, and you'll see that when we take this thing for a drive. Check out the 360 camera there and blacked out mirror caps. You do get that, of course, on the RAV4. You've also got keyless entry and go, very nice, on both of these, and roof rails on both too. So something to keep in mind is that in Australia versus other markets in the world, we actually get a long wheelbase version of the Kia Sportage. Quite luxury, isn't
I guess it's just normal for us Aussies.
Yeah, it looks normal to me. I can't imagine it being any shorter. And versus the RAV4, the Kia Sportage is longer by 45 millimeters with a 65 millimeter longer wheelbase. The width is exactly the same. The height is 10 millimeters taller on the RAV4. And so overall, the Kia Sportage is just a little bit bigger than the RAV4, though you put them side by side, it's almost impossible to tell.
Yeah, you really can't see it.
The other thing I really like with the Sportage is that it gets very tinted privacy glass. You do get that on the RAV4, but it's not quite as tinted as this. And you get a floating roof design here, which looks really nice on the Kia Sportage, and just looks like they've done the smallest sliver on the RAV4.
They're like, we need a slightly floating roof,
Yeah,
but not too floating.
Yeah, we don't want it to float too high, you
No.
know what I mean? Even though it is 10 millimeters higher. Let's check out the bum.
So bro, you know how I said this is starting to look a bit dated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was mostly referring to the back.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It just hasn't aged as well as the RAV4, I think. But
yeah,
you do get some cool stuff like fully LED lights back here, including LED turn signals. That's good to see. 7-year warranty badge. Kia are pretty proud of it. In fact, I'm pretty sure they were the first in Australia to release a 7-year warranty. Got the Kia badge here, Sportage badge here, and HEV. That's the only way you're going to really notice that this is the hybrid Sportage, because now it comes with 4 different engines.
You mean apart from that ridiculous noise it makes when you're creeping?
VES, Vehicle Engine Sound System. You've also got a bumper down here, which is, well, I don't know. It's unnecessarily aggressive, but who cares? Let's talk about the back of this, man, because while I think it looks better, what the flip, okay? You're spending almost $60,000, more than $60,000 on the road for this RAV4, and you still get halogen turn signals. For me, that's
a bit ridiculous.
It's the sign of like cheapness. Does my head in.
Yeah.
You do get these LED lights here, which is otherwise pretty cool. Got the Toyota badge here with blue again. Edge hybrid. Gets pretty proud of having the Edge model here. RAV4. I like how it's like blacked out. Looks pretty cool actually. And down the bottom you get a more normal bumper, but it's still a bit of aggression going on. The other thing that no one asked for is how do these things sound? They sound terrible, right? But I want to know, which one sounds more terribler? Let us know in the comment section. Listen to both. Oh, that was pretty crap, wasn't it?
It was honestly just like so anticlimactic.
Which is your least favorite?
Probably the RAV4, because you couldn't even rev it.
It kept turning off. I guess it's doing its job. All right, Jacob, let's talk about practicality now.
Okay.
So, Jacob, talk about copying my homework. Both of these cars have a 542-litre volume of boot space with the rear seats up. Actually, the RAV4, when you get it with a space-saver spare wheel like it comes with here, and by the way, the Sportage also has a space-saver spare wheel, but you can drop the false floor in this, and that will give you 580 litres of boot space. So technically, this is better, but for whatever reason, this actually feels better.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more usable. Maybe it's a bit higher up.
The reason is that every manufacturer actually measures the boot space differently. Some measure it up to a certain height, others measure it up to the roof. It's actually quite strange. So in practice, this feels better, but in theory, this is better. You can also drop the rear seats of the RAV4 and get a stupid amount of space. And of course, you can do the same and easier for the Kia Sportage, both of which get a 12-volt socket and both have big subwoofers in the back as well. So really, it's a much for muchness, except this tailgate is a lot faster than this tailgate.
Oh,
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob.
What do we reckon?
Interior of the RAV4. Now, we have previously reviewed the RAV4, which quite recently actually got a pretty big tech overhaul. So if you want to learn more about the in-depth detail, make sure you check out that review of our last RAV4. I'll link that down below. But we'll cover off the basics here. Essentially, this thing has had its tech modernized, but it still doesn't feel, I don't know, the best. So you got this display here. It's not the biggest, it's not the smallest. You now get wireless Apple CarPlay, but wired Android Auto, and it shows enough information. It's not mind-blowing. I guess it just does the job. No physical buttons for anything except for your volume control, which I've actually found to be quite annoying because you used to have physical buttons on the side, but not anymore.
Like quick access.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no reason to remove them.
No, there's so much space with bezels that it's just kind of annoying. Up in front of you, you get a really nice digital instrument cluster, actually. It's not the most color accurate or graphical, but it just shows so much information. And actually, I say that, you can change the way that it looks between quite a lot of different modes. My favorite is tough.
Try to be extra manly today.
Yeah, trying to be extra manly. And that's how you feel sitting in the edge because you got lots of orange accents around. I like them. What do you think?
I think they're a bit silly, man. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I can understand why you would think that. But the interior space in here is really logically laid out and practical, and I feel like you could go from any car into this and you just know where everything is. You have soft touch materials absolutely everywhere, and that does help to quieten down the interior. And they've also used some pretty novel materials too. Got rubberized dials here for your climate controls.
Very grippy.
Yeah, for your grab handles as well. Actually, it feels really quite nice. Storage is really good too. You got this open area there, a massive glove box. The center armrest is nice and soft with heaps of storage in there. Oh, and a couple of USB-C ports too. A couple of cup holders there. You got a wireless phone charger, USB-A port, 12-volt socket. You've even got a storage area to the right of your knee, and the door bins are a pretty decent size too. So you're not going to be wanting for space in here, despite being a little bit older than a lot of the competition out there. In fact, the only thing I can think of that's older than this at the moment is the CX-5, and that feels ancient.
Yeah, look, it's not going to be as nice on the inside in that one.
No. Other things too is, like I said, top of the range. So you get these leather seats, except they're not leather.
It had us fooled.
It had us fooled, and that's kind of a shame, especially when you're spending 60 grand. It's this synthetic leather that actually does feel quite nice, very supportive seats. I also like the orange highlights personally in there. This side is automatically adjusting, but the passenger side is manually adjusting.
For the plebs.
Again, at this price point, it's kind of strange. Small sunroof here, I guess at least you get it, but yeah, it's really quite small. You also get another display up here. If you flick this switch here, it actually activates a second camera in the back, and you have a pretty clear view behind you, especially if you like load this thing up in the back if you're going on a road trip. So that is quite cool. And then the steering wheel. It's a really nice steering wheel. I would have hoped that it would be heated again at this price point, but it does feel nice to hold on to. It's a leather unit. Nothing really else to complain about. Oh, and shout out to this drive mode selector here. It's just got cool colors within it. Not a lot, but there's something.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Oh, you do get a trail mode.
Oh.
Yeah, you have your traction control system optimized for trailing, but you'll be trailing the rear end in this thing.
You'll be probably trailing behind a Sportage too.
Yeah. Overall, I actually quite like the interior, especially with this JBL sound system. It's just a nice place to be. It's no frills kind of thing.
It's very utilitarian.
But when you start to spend this money, there's a lot of other features I would start to expect.
And yeah, it does feel a bit aged in here, to be honest.
Let's check out the back seat.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Daddy Jacob.
It's actually pretty nice in the back, man.
Back seats. I quite like it, especially because it's just kind of functional and works. I'm 5'11", heaps of space behind my driving position, heaps of tow room too, heaps of headroom as well. It's actually quite impressive because, like I said, this thing has about 6 centimeters shorter wheelbase than the Sportage, and in a lot of ways, like space-wise, back here, it's almost better.
But I think the extra height, you definitely feel. It feels a lot more space, like feels a lot more airy back there.
100%, but I actually don't think it feels more airy because the roof back here is just completely covered.
True.
So it's actually quite dark back here. You do have matte pocket, but only for the passenger, which feels like a bit of a cost-saving measure. You've got a couple of air vents here and 2 more USB-C ports, so you're definitely not going to need for charging. These faux leather seats, again, feel quite nice. You've got a pull-down center armrest with a couple of cup holders, and the quality back here is pretty good. It's nice soft touch. You do lose that rubberized feeling on the door handle, but who really cares? Look, man, overall, quite nice.
It's solid, yeah.
It's solid. Let's check out the Sportage. Alrighty, guys. So coming into the interior now of the Kia Sportage, immediately it's just a lot nicer.
Man, I mean, look at those curved displays in front of you.
Yeah, so tech in here is in some ways better, in most ways better, but in some ways it's not quite as good. So the way I don't think it's quite as good is up in front of you. I just think you get more information displayed on the RAV4, but this is pretty beautiful. It certainly looks a lot better, and you still get plenty of information, so you're not really losing out on anything. You've also got a massive 12.3-inch display here, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Android Auto is so strange in 2024. Whatever, Kia, you do you. It is a really easy to use display though, very color accurate, bright. I love the graphics behind it. You've also got these controls down here, which can just be your media controls, or you press a button and now they're your air conditioning controls. So really cool design.
Yeah, but you know what?
Oh.
Real quick, before you move on, it doesn't bloody work with CarPlay.
Oh, yes, we've been having an issue where the volume is not able to adjust the volume on Apple CarPlay, which is, by the way, the first time I've ever had that, because like I said, I live with this car.
Yeah, we've never had issues before. I think it's just this one.
It must be this one. Strange. Anyway, you've got this faux wood around, which is quite nice, actually. Soft touch materials, just like the RAV4, pretty much everywhere. It's a really quiet interior. Storage in here is better. So you've got this open storage area. You press a couple of buttons, and now you've got your hidden cup holders. Just really cool design.
I love
there,
that.
man. You've also got this little area under here where you've got a USB-A port, USB-C port, 12-volt socky-wocky, and a wireless charger. Again, nice to see. Pretty massive glove box there too. Center armrest is nice and soft. About the same amount of storage within there. And these are seats. Yes, this is real leather. So you actually get what you pay for with Alcantara on it too, which is a very nice material. I love Alcantara.
Dude, it's just so much more like conventional luxury in this Kia Sportage.
It is. And by the way, you do get heated and cooled seats in the RAV4, and you get that here as well, but you also get a heated steering wheel, which is what I would expect at this price point, especially considering, guys, this actually costs less than that RAV4.
Yeah, it's like 3,000 less.
You've also got some pretty cool like luxury features in here, like drive-by wire. Not everyone likes that. They prefer the shifter in the RAV4. But by the way, the shifter in the RAV4, it's actually degrading already, and that car's only done 4,000 kilometers. So
That is a bit concerning.
that's concerning. I don't like that. And the sound system in here as well, the Harman Kardon, it's also a really, really good sound system. Other cool things, you get LED lighting throughout. You get this huge panoramic sunroof that opens up a lot more than the RAV4. And these seats are just so much more comfortable, I think.
Yep, and you get power adjustment on the passenger side too.
Yeah, so that's a lot of features that you get over a RAV4, but you're spending less. Even the SX, which is the cheapest grade of hybrid you can get for the Sportage, comes really, really well equipped. So I'm a little bit disappointed, at least in the RAV4, when you compare it to this, it's almost no competition.
I don't know if I'm disappointed in the RAV4. I'm just like super impressed in the Sportage.
True. Also, the steering wheel.
So nice.
That's a nice leather steering wheel. Let's check out the back seats.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys. Let's talk about the back seats now. And to me, man, I think this is where it slam dunks on the RAV4.
Absolutely. That's where that extra wheelbase comes in as well.
I know I said that the RAV4 might be more comfortable, but as soon as I put my bum in this seat, I'm like, nah, this is just better. First of all, my legs are at a better angle, and I've still got heaps of legroom, heaps of toe room. Headroom is not quite as good, but that's because we get this sunroof, and I would much rather have this than, you know, more headroom. Like, I don't need it, to be honest,
Definitely.
at my height. Anyway, you get these really nice leather Alcantara seats in the back, pull down center armrest with a couple more cup holders. You've also got USB-C charging in the side of the seats, which is pretty cool. And then you've got things that make me think they haven't just cut costs. For example, we get a map pocket here, which is nice. You've also got storage hooks on both sides. Got a couple of air vents, a little storage area there. Got a little tablet holder there where you can hang your coat, or you can put your phone there for self-help. And quality though, that's a bit of cost saving.
Yeah, but it's only at the top.
Just at the top. This is nice and soft. And otherwise, I'll be totally honest, it's a more preferable place to be. Oh, also, I can do this.
Oh, say no more.
I can literally lie down. So yeah, the back seats of this absolutely slam dunk, I think, on the RAV4. But to be fair, the RAV4 is a lot older. So let me know in the comment section below, which would you take? Would you take the RAV4 for the interior, or would you take the Kia Sportage? Does it just do it a lot better? Jacob, let's launch it.
Let's launch it.
Alrighty, friend. We're gonna put the car into sport mode.
Oh, you better.
Now, they have a remarkably different drivetrains. So I'm genuinely really curious to see which will do better. It's raining and it's wet. And so this should technically do better because it's all-wheel drive.
It should, but it has a bit less power. Let's see.
Fist me. Oh, come on, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Let's go.
I'll tell you what, that grip is really good.
Impressive, man.
Oh, CVT, drone a little more.
Keep going, keep going.
Come on, baby.
Oh, that's actually not bad, man.
It's all right. 0 to 100 in 8.56 seconds. What will the Kia Sportage do?
Let's find out.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob, we're going to recreate the same 0 to 100, exact same, except it's actually a little dry. It's not raining now,
It is still wet though.
which is kind of annoying because it means that the RAV4 gets an unfair disadvantage.
You know what? I think it levels the playing field for the all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive.
All right, fist me, good. Brake boosting again.
Let's do it.
This time nothing happens, but
We'll see.
we'll see.
Oh, that was quite gentle. Oh, no.
Oh no, don't do it front wheel drive. Tell you what though,
feel
it's
like that is-
fast in like a straight line.
It is picking up. Oh!
Oh!
What? It is 1/100th of a second faster.
Oh, that is crazy. And considering that it wheel slipped as well in a straight line, this is definitely
my God.
faster.
You can tell, like, this 0 to 60 was so bad, and then the 60 to 100
It was a
so
second
much
worse than the RAV4.
Yeah.
So it made all of that up between 60 kilometers and 100 kilometers an hour.
Which is where it counts, man. That's where you needed the overtaking speed.
That's
so,
crazy. There you
Wow.
go. All righty, friend. Let's start with the fuel economy.
Let's do it.
5.9 litres per 100 kilometers. I'm getting.
That's remarkably not that great, I feel.
I feel like it's pretty good for a family SUV.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not up to the claim, is it?
No, it's nowhere near the 4.8 litres per 100 kilometre
No.
claim that they have, but we'll see how that compares to the Sportage in a moment.
True.
Let's put our foot down.
Let's also not forget that you've been driving it.
Oh.
It's definitely got a bit of grunt, man.
So powering this thing, it's so interesting because they're very, very different powertrains. But the RAV4 Edge that we're driving here in every RAV4 hybrid, 2.5 litre, 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle engine.
Very efficient.
It's a very efficient engine.
It is.
This one also gets 2 electric motors versus the one that you get in the Sportage. There's one at the front axle, one at the rear. And combined, they put out 163 kilowatt of power and an unknown amount of torque.
But we'd say probably around 350.
Around
right?
350.
Yeah.
You put your foot down.
You get a bit of a punch in the back, but
do.
it's nothing like crazy, you know?
Nothing crazy.
But would you want that?
Oh, we're about to find out.
You do get all-wheel drive though, and that is super helpful right now.
This is the
Oh my
benefit.
God.
It's a wet day today.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'll be doing that in the Kia Sportage
Please
because
don't.
it's front-wheel drive. But really, this is the benchmark of the segment, and that's why we're driving this thing first. It's just so good.
I remember in our first review of this car, we were like so frustrated with it because we wanted to hate on it. We wanted to hate it because it's like you can't get one, even if you want it, but it just impressed us so much.
Yeah, and actually supply of these are getting a lot better. It's still a long wait, about like 6 to 12 months, more probably towards the 12-month end. But the reality is that these are starting to come back into better supply because they're kind of getting old, man. Like this thing still uses a nickel metal hydride battery.
That is old.
That's old. It's like 90s technology, if not earlier. Like they've been using that in pretty much their first Priuses.
But you know what the advantage is of having an older powertrain?
What's that? What's that?
It's that classic Toyota reliability, that proven time and time again.
You can't fault it. This thing will start up every time for many, many, many years to come because it's a proven old technology. In their newer 5th generation Toyota hybrid systems, they are starting to use lithium ion batteries, but that's not what this is. Oh God.
No. Oh my God.
We need sport mode right now,
We
bro.
really do.
Oh, I love the graphics.
Whoa.
Oh.
Much more responsive. Is that a CVT I hear?
Ah, it's a loud CVT.
Sorry, I forgot the E part.
Whatever the hell that means. Essentially, it's got a real gear and then it can switch over to CVT. It's just weird. But anyway, you're hearing right now the CVT. This thing has a lot of pulling power, man.
It does, but I really feel like that engine is very noisy.
It's so loud. And this is one of the things, it does feel a little unrefined.
Yeah.
You know, the switch over between the engine and the electric motors, it's almost imperceptible, but you hear that engine.
And it does sound a little bit agricultural, I have to be honest with you, man. Like, that was my main criticism of the Yaris Cross that we did.
Yeah.
It just has that, like, drony sound to it. Not very refined, in my opinion.
I will say, I love the way it switches into EV mode and then it becomes nice and quiet because the engine turns off.
It shuts up, but I don't think it'll shut up for Saucy Corner.
Especially when I put it back into sport mode. You gonna tickle my little pickle. Can we brake boost it?
Yes.
Here we go, daddies.
Oh!
Oh.
Ooh, not bad. Good grip.
It also builds power just very differently to the
Yeah.
Sportage. Okay, here we go. Hairpin number 1. It's
God,
a
I'm
wet,
scared.
saucy corner kind of day. I'm not gonna go too hard.
Dude, it just keeps giving you power, though.
It doesn't cut it, which is very impressive. Hairpin number 2. This is the harder one.
Tiny bit of understeer, but, like, still honestly amazing.
So they call this thing an all-wheel drive. Is it an all-wheel drive? It's kind of up to debate. So there is an electric motor on the rear axle, but it's a very small one. And it just kind of gives little spurts of power. You can see it here when we put our foot down.
Oh, give it.
It just gives little spurts of power. So it's not like it can send up to 50% of power to the rear. It doesn't work like that. The engine is only connected to the front axle, so.
Also, friend, how is the braking? I know some hybrids have weird braking.
It's definitely a bit grabby. There's no doubt about that. Also, it has funny ABS.
Oh, that is such a Toyota thing, though.
It's a very Toyota thing where, you know, you might not full brake, but it will still activate the ABS, and it's not a nice feeling.
No, I have experienced that many times. While paying attention, I assure you.
Oh, anyway. All right, that's enough talking about this. It's pretty damn good.
One more thing. You've forgotten.
Oh, no.
How's the self-driving? How's the lane keeping?
That is true. It's okay. I'm not going to say it's remarkable.
No.
If we press it here and we press a couple of buttons, then...
I will say it usually doesn't work out here that well, but...
It's hooking up.
Oh, yeah?
I will say it's not intrusive, but it won't necessarily hook you to the center of the lane that well.
So it's not like a full, you know, lane centering assist. It is more of a lane keep assist.
More so.
Yeah.
It does have lane centering, but it doesn't feel
more
the best.
gentle.
All right, let's drive the Sportage.
Let's.
All righty, friend. Time to drive the Kia Sportage. Let's start by looking at its fuel economy.
Oh.
6.2 litres per 100 kilometres. The thing you have to remember about this as well is that it's front-wheel drive only.
So it should be getting better fuel economy, friend.
Theoretically.
Yes.
Let's put the car into sport mode. Put our
I
foot
haven't
down.
done that once, I swear. It builds.
It's so interesting because it is a very different feeling drivetrain. First of all,
really
this
is.
steering becomes so much heavier, it's not funny. So we're riding on slightly smaller wheels on this one, 18 inches versus the 19 inch on the RAV4. But
can you notice the difference?
I don't think this is as comfortable.
No, interestingly, you would expect a harsher ride from the larger wheels, but
You
I
would.
feel like this has a lot more of a stiffer suspension setup.
It does, but I really like the feel of this drivetrain. You put your foot down.
It's nice, it's smooth, it's powerful.
It's powerful. It feels quite significantly more powerful, especially at these higher speeds.
But then you're reminded that it's a front wheel drive and you can't fully send it around this corner like you did with the RAV4.
No, I can half send it because it is still a Kia, and they do their local ride and handling tune here in Australia. So
Thank God for that.
It's actually driven on a lot of roads like this. In fact, I'm pretty sure one of the roads they do drive on is this exact road. But
Ooh. It's a lot faster. I feel like it feels a lot faster, man.
Especially at that
torque
higher
band.
speed, just
Yeah.
because of that turbocharged engine, it just does really well. So it puts out 169 kilowatt of power, and they actually do tell us what the newton meters is. It's 350 newton meters of power.
I guess it's easy to calculate when it's just 2 motors rather than 3.
I was so confused for a second. I was like, what are you talking about? You're right, there are 2 motors in this and 3 in the other ones, technically. So here we have a 1.6 litre turbocharged petrol engine, and that is paired with a single electric motor up at the front, hence the 2 motors rather than the 3 of the RAV4
Took you a
Edge.
second, bro.
That's what got me. Also comes with a normal transmission, a
Yes.
6-speed torque converter automatic. And
Very
so
nice.
you can actually feel and also shift through the gears, which you can't do
No.
in a RAV4. And so in a lot of ways, this does just feel more normal than that.
It's definitely a lot more of a conventional driving experience compared to the Toyota hybrids like setup you got in the RAV4. And
We just slipped there.
yeah, I felt that. There's quite a bit of understeer, and I feel like it is a little bit more unsettled around corners, even though it's very similar in weight, right? Like it's only like 8 kilos heavier,
It's 8 kilograms heavier.
but it feels
But we're slipping
heavier,
there.
right?
So yeah, that's the thing, man. And even though I really like the powertrain of this more, I think the fact that it doesn't get all-wheel drive is actually quite an issue, especially out here on back roads on a wet day like today. And then when you combine the fact that it's not quite as fuel efficient, I don't love that. However, when we do put this car back into eco mode, there's no normal like in the RAV4. It is very quick to chuck the car into full EV only, turn off the engine. And then
So quiet in
It's
here,
a
man.
really quiet drive, and you can't discount the fact that this interior space is about a bajillion times nicer.
Oh,
than the
dude, it's
RAV4.
way nicer, and the material choices makes it much quieter on the road as well. Combine that with the smaller wheels too, so
It's just...
yeah, it's more luxurious feeling, I
It's
feel, than the
way
RAV4.
more luxurious feeling.
Yeah.
But how does it go up Saucy Corner?
It's not about luxury, bro.
I'm almost a little worried.
I'm extremely scared.
Okay, we're going to put the car into sport mode, and we're going to brake boost it. You're going to tickle my little pickle. Does it look like I've got
You look godly right now, bro.
God on my side? Here we go.
We need it.
Well, it didn't wheel slip. Oh,
there
wheel
you go.
slipped.
Once it builds up
Yeah.
to the torque.
And you're getting a bit of torque steer as
Grab
well.
handle. Oh my God.
I'll tell you what though, it is quite significantly faster in just a straight line.
Not around the corner though.
No.
I will say we are still going faster than the RAV4, but it's a bit sketchy.
We just keep kind of like understeering, oversteering, understeering.
But that's what you'd expect, man, from a front-wheel drive mid-size SUV.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk to you about. This thing feels almost like a hot hatch. It's quite strange.
That is one of the stranger things you said, friend.
Yeah, but still, look, it's a nice place to be. I don't know which one I like more.
Look, I think the RAV4, it just handles a little bit better in more situations. But honestly, when it comes to interior comfort and actually like driving comfort and also like the lane keeping assist, which you can go into, I would probably take this one, to be honest.
No one drives it like that.
No,
very
exactly.
rarely. This is really an urban warrior.
Yeah, you're gonna have your kids in the back, they're gonna be screaming, and you're gonna want, you're gonna want the comfort of this car.
All right, let's put on the adaptive cruise control, and we're going to put on the lane centering. I will say that this is a much better autonomous driving system than the RAV4, simply because it just hooks up in the lane better. It steers you just so much more easily and doesn't bounce you around like you find in the RAV4.
Yeah.
Adaptive cruise control is about the same. And in terms of safety, this actually is a bit better because it is newer.
I also like that you get the drive, what's it called? The blind spot view monitors?
Oh, the blind spot cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's on the GT line, obviously, but I think it's a good feature to have, to be honest.
They're a very good feature to have. Ooh, I don't know. We're going to have to mull over this. Let's get into our final thoughts.
Interesting.
Alrighty, guys. We said we would give you a definitive answer, and I'll be honest, it is hard to give you a definitive answer.
Yeah, this has taken a while to come to a conclusion, I think.
We've sat there, we've been going, but there is a difference. So the Toyota RAV4 is really good in a couple of ways, and it will be good for you if you are looking for the utmost reliability because it is using older hybrid technology. It is tried, true, and tested. It's 2.5 litre. It's a big engine that doesn't put out much power. It's built for reliability. There's also the Toyota dealership network, which is the largest in Australia. So you could be out in literally the middle of nowhere and you'll probably come across a Toyota dealership. But it's not just the after sales of this car. It drives really well, actually.
It genuinely really impressed us the first time we reviewed it, and this Edge is no exception.
It's comfortable. It's a no frills, kind of does everything you need. However, I can't get past the value proposition that the Kia Sportage brings, not to mention it still comes with a 7-year warranty. So Kia are very much backing their product, technically more than the 5 years you get on the Toyota RAV4. It's also faster in a straight line. It might not have the same grip levels at a start, but where it really matters, like you said, Jacob, is when you're trying to overtake out on a country road. This is far more assuring than this. This thing starts to lose puff after about 100 kilometers an hour.
Definitely.
Not to mention the interior, it's like worlds apart. The interior of this is so much nicer than the interior of the RAV4. That is feeling dated, and it just feels cheap in a lot of areas, like the halogen bulbs at the back. It's a telling sign. So overall, I think our pick definitely goes to the Kia Sportage, but the RAV4, it's still a pretty unbelievable car. So there's no wonder in my mind why it still has a 12-month wait list in a lot of cases. And of course, guys, if you want to buy either one of these and you want them faster than pretty much anyone else, head to carsauce.com/buy. Like I said, we will put you with a dealer and the Nullarbor if we have to get you that car.
We'll look after you.